Hi, Dr. Stu Katzen here, back again at CrossFit Main Line, Ardmore, Pennsylvania, in the chiropractic room. This series of videos, we're still sticking with the theme of the thoracic spine. This one actually, what we talk about is overhead rib mobilization. This one's actually really key because we're actually isolating and organizing the scapula. This has been probably one of the most interesting things I've come across as a practitioner with the athletes. In the beginning, I was having a lot of people coming in with shoulder problems. And a lot of times everyone thinks it's the rotator cuff, and they've gone to their doctors, they've had MRIs, nothing wrong with the rotator cuff. And so you start realizing if the scapula is not gliding properly, it's going to shut down those muscles or interfere with the function of the rotator cuff. And it's going to mimic some shoulder problems. So this exercise alone has been very helpful with helping people with shoulder mobility. And then there's actually a specific chiropractic adjustment that I do for shoulder mobility with scapular deficiency and also the mid-thoracic spine dysfunction. So with the single lacrosse ball we're going to use it for this particular exercise, what we're going to do is you're going to come from front and between the scapula, and you don't want this directly on the spine, you want it on the tissue between the board of the scapula and the spine itself. And from here, you're going to come back and find an area that may be tight for you, and then what you're going to do is tighten the buttocks a little bit, lift up and put a little more pressure on there. Again, not supposed to be painful, but you know what? You should really feel it. And then with an overhead bias, you're going to bring your hand straight up and over top and come back as far as you can. If you find your elbow internally or externally rotating, then that's the end. You're at your end range of motion. You want to hold it here, really work into that area and try to mobilize that rib area. And then actually what you're going to do next is when you bring it back, you're going to come across the opposite hip, which is really going to try to open up that musculature and those rib facet angles. So by stretching out here, you can help really loosen up that area of your spine and help loosen up this concept of this shoulder dysfunction. Now chiropractically, what we do sometimes is they're tests, and actually literally people have scapula that aren't gliding properly. So with some of the testing we do with an instrument, this one's called an activator, I actually can adjust the angles of the scapula and try to get them into motion. Again, it's about mobility. If the muscles aren't getting mobilized, sometimes they need some manual mobilization. And another area I find often sometimes is in the thoracic spine, there's 12 vertebrae. Between the second and third vertebra, there's a nerve that comes off there that innervates underneath the scapula. That's being irritated and pinched off. It's going to interfere with the function of that scapula and the muscles associated with the rotator cuff. So not always is a shoulder problem, shoulder dysfunction isn't always a shoulder problem. It could be coming somewhere else along the line. So if you have any shoulder problems during the fitness challenge, please come in. I'll be happy to take a look at it. Otherwise, keep up the good work and good luck with the challenge. See you at the box.